Greetings, good storytellers. I'm the Artful Narrator, and it is my privilege to welcome you to a video. It might be a trope video, or it might not. I still haven't quite decided yet, so whatever it says on the YouTube page will be what it is. Now, while this doesn't 100% relate to the actual nuts and bolts of writing, it is very important from the psychological side of just how it is like going through life as a writer, and the way that the hyper-creative mind of an author, of the way that we spin narratives for our stories, we can have that turn against us and spin negative narratives about ourselves, or see events in our lives going a certain direction, imposing new significance on these events. And so as such, I wanted to make a video about several different resources that I use to help me when I'm feeling anxious with, medium success. Some days are better than others. I haven't found that perfect, instant problem-solving solution yet, and I don't expect to necessarily, because life is a process and a journey, and if there was an instant fix-it button, then that would take away a lot of the significance of the experience. But still. Now, all this was brought about because of a recent visit that I made to a health specialist of my father's. And in this visit, I received acupuncture for the first time. And being, open to such things, having watched, movies like Doctor Strange and Magnum PI, where they'd used, various things like that in a couple episodes, I was not concerned about this, having been a diabetic and received plenty of finger pricks, but I wasn't necessarily wildly convinced that it would have any major effect. And so I had to lie down on a table, and a few little needles were put in my back, and I was just trying to relax and let whatever was going to happen. And I didn't have any huge transformative experience, but one thing that I did notice that was quite surprising for me at the time was I suddenly became aware of how loud the clock was in this health specialist's office. And I hadn't even noticed the ticking of the clock before, and suddenly I realized that it was this absurdly loud noise, and all the thoughts that had been swirling around my mind, those had been drowning out the sound. And so suddenly, rather than thinking about, I should have been doing this, or I want to be doing this later, or frustrated that I didn't do such and such, or all that past and present thinking, I suddenly was in the present moment thinking, my goodness, this is a loud clock. And that was pretty cool, that suddenly I was there, and I wasn't brought there because of the pain or anything like that, because there wasn't any pain. I just was suddenly, without trying to, I was in the present moment. And in the past, I'd done different things to try to put myself in the present moment, meditation and tapping and such things. But this was an instance where I suddenly was just put in the present moment. So that was pretty cool. So that's something that I may try again in the future, but it's not something that you can really make use of in the moment when you're suddenly having some anxiety at home. And so I wanted to gather together a couple of my favorite resources for trying to get a clearer perspective and greater clarity of vision and greater sense of calm and self, and put it in a video so that other authors could possibly make use of it. I expect that you know of these things, but perhaps you've never felt inclined to try them, or perhaps you don't know of some of them. That one of these in particular was something that I'd never heard of, but has actually helped me quite a bit. So the first and most well-known is meditation. And this has some benefits and some difficulties to it as well. But it is something that I have had success with, and while it is difficult at times, it is something that I do recommend. Now, there is a program can either be used as an app on your phone or can be just accessed from their website. But it's a website called Headspace, and you can subscribe for a month or a year from them to get access to all these guided meditations based on an array of different subjects, from self-confidence to helping you get to sleep, to anxiety or stress or depression, all these different things. And it has this person with a very nice voice taking you through these steps of the meditation, helping you to ground yourself and to leave the chaoticness of the mind behind, because the way that it describes it is it's almost like the thoughts are clouds in the sky or cars passing back and forth on a road ahead of you. And we can, using the road analogy, we can become fixated on certain ideas, and so we're trying to chase after that car, or perhaps we're trying to avoid something instead. But that this is not about removing any of these ideas and just having a total absence of thought. It's about putting that in the background and just allowing the scene to take place before you, allowing there to be these clouds in the sky, but it doesn't stop you from focusing on the tranquility and the beauty of the sky, or allowing all these cars to pass back and forth on the road, but you're just sitting there taking in the scene.
You cannot beat a river into submission. You have to surrender to its current and use its power as your own.
Well, I control it by surrendering control? It doesn't make any sense.
Not everything does. Not everything has to.
And so they have this is unsponsored, of course, but they have a starter pack that you can access for free, and that gives you 10 days worth of these guided meditations, only 10 specific sessions, and gives you a chance to see if this is something that might work for you.
Now, look at all the guilt which burdens you so. What do you blame yourself for?
I hurt all of those people.
Accept the reality that these things happened, but do not let them cloud and poison your energy. If you are to be a positive influence on the world, you need to forgive yourself.
I'll give you just a snippet of some of the elements in these so that you could see if it's something that might be of help to you. Sit back either in your chair or cross-legged on the floor, whatever is most comfortable for you, and start with just a nice soft focus on the wall in front of you. Not looking at anything in particular, just taking in the room. And start by breathing in slowly, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Nice, slow breathing. And continue that for a few more breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And with your next exhale, close your eyes and take in the feeling of the room around you. Listen to the sounds. Feel the weight of your body, either your feet on the floor or your hands and arms resting on the lap. And just be present in this moment. And if you feel these thoughts swirling around you, any anxieties or worries, or even just the chaotic background thoughts that we all have, don't try to fight these, don't resist them, but don't listen to them either. Just envision a swirling vortex of these thoughts around you. It's almost like there's this great whirlwind and you're sitting in the center of it. And these anxieties, all these thoughts are getting sucked into the whirlwind, and they're still swirling. They are still a present force, but they're swirling around you. They're no longer part of you. They are just part of this experience. But you're in the eye of this storm. There is tranquility here and there is peace. And so just allow these concerns, allow these worries to enter that vortex, and as your breathing relaxes, just feel that swirling around you. And now here in this calm of the eye of the storm, feel a radiance shining down on you and envision a light glowing above your head. And this might be the sun, this might be your higher self or God, whatever gives you the greatest sense of peace. And so feel that warmth radiating down upon you. And envision that it's almost like this radiance is filling you up, going down through the top of your head, flowing through your body, and slowly from your toes up to your feet, filling you in this clear, calm warmth. And focus in on that and feel as it rises, now going up the calf to the knee, slowly but steadily, up through the thigh, now to the hips, and up into the top of the body, passing through the stomach to the chest, your whole body becoming enveloped in this warmth, in this clarity. And finally, this energy, this fluid radiance rises up to your arms and flows down all the way to the fingers. And again, the process slowly fills up now the arms, from the wrist up to the elbow and on to the shoulder. And with your body now completely immersed in this calm, the energy continues up through the neck and in to the head, all the way up to the very top, and you feel yourself suspended in this peace. And take another deep breath here and just allow yourself to focus on that feeling of calm, on that warmth. And now, for a moment, give up any sense of resistance and just let your mind think. Let it go to wherever it wants to. And see if in that act of embracing whatever it has to offer, if that absence of resistance actually in itself gives you some calm, some clarity. And now, having experienced this, feel the vortex swirling around you die down and fade away as the sounds of the room about you come back in and tug at your consciousness. Feel once again the weight of the body, the feet upon the floor, hands and arms folded in the lap. And finally, when you're ready, open your eyes and just take a moment to reflect on this experience before resuming the rest of your day, trying to take some semblance of that calm with you into whatever actions are required as you go about your business. And so that would be a snippet, an example of this type of meditation. And while a great sense of calm can come from meditation, I find that it's a thing that is beneficial to build a sort of baseline of calm, of being present and having that extra sense of being able to recognize when you are becoming anxious and try to take steps to stop it from blowing up, because we have a way of trying to distract ourselves when we feel anxious, trying to not focus on it and instead focus on something else. And this resistance can build up that anxiety, can get it to compress and build to the point where it explodes in an instance of panic or frustration. And so meditation is a good way to help you be aware when something like that's starting to happen and give you a means to try to take a more proactive approach to finding a sense of calm. But for instances where you're feeling exceedingly anxious about something, to the point where it's difficult to sit still with these feelings, that they're a little bit too intense,
Proper meditation techniques can open up shining new vistas of serenity. Simply close your eyes and focus on a restful image, such as a tropical island or a sunset. Any calming image will do nicely.
In this instance, I've had excellent success with something called tapping.